Alright, let's get to this. Only do this from the perspective of a Resto Shaman. As Elemental Shaman, who cares about them? And Enhancement Shaman, who cares about them? Oh, I guess I get Chain Heal automatically. Astral Shift. Well, that's a no-brainer. That's a defensive. And Chain Lightning, of course. Gotta take that. Frost Shock. I live on Frost Shock, especially on Explosive Week. But I cast a lot of Frost Shock regardless. Maelstrom Weapon. When you deal them... Oh, I'm not gonna hit with my melee weapon. That's just stupid. Choose one. Plains Traveler. Reduce the cooldown of Astral Shift by 30 seconds. So normally it's a 2-minute cooldown, so that would be a minute 30. Or Astral Shift reduces damage taken by an additional 20%. That's kind of interesting, actually. When I was thinking it'll be easier to set up multiple talent sets and plus and ready. Oh yeah. Well, hopefully, yeah, you'll be able to just set up like you would gear, right? Where you say, click my M plus setup, click my rating setup, click my T-Mock setup, whatever it may be. So from a rating perspective, I think reducing the Astral Shift by 30 seconds, because otherwise, if you have to do Astral Shift where it reduces more damage, you're probably undergeared. So I think we'll take that. You can make sets and safe swap it like you can with gears. That's already confirmed. That is a godsend. That is awesome, actually. For M+, I think having a Astral Shift more often, or, well, no, I think I take it more often available. I think overall that's stronger. Unless there's a fight, like, take for example, in top, the boss, the PvP boss, right, that has the flag. In that case, I would definitely want the additional reduced damage. Because before the most recent nerf, that thing hit like a truck. Wind Shear, well, it's an interrupt. You have to take that. Rocky, yeah. Earth Shield is good. Increase all fire and frost damage you deal. Well, I do a lot of that damage, so that's a no-brainer. So Cat Totem. Cat Totem doesn't matter in raids, but in M+, for sure. I guess the question is, what's below it? We'll take it for now. Cleanse Spirit. I'm already feeling like a lot of these are just stuff you normally have anyway. So the fact that you're choosing them, that's like giving you a false choice. I mean, did you imagine a healer going up an M+, and say, oh, sorry, I can't remove debuffs. So, to me, that's kind of a false choice. I've seen Resto Shamans, just watch them in M+, that don't drop their Cat Totem. And that should almost be on cooldown. It's ridiculous. Our experience... No, you have not. Now, you're probably going to say, oh, what about in Plaguefall? Well, yeah, because that's not what my class dispels. So that's not on me. Focus Insight. Casting Flame Struck reduces the mana cost of your next heal spell by 10% and increases healing effectiveness. So that is actually a first real choice. We're going to take 2 of that. Flurry, increase your attack speed. Nope, because we're not doing any of the melee stuff. I guess this would be interesting if they're making it possible to be like a melee healer and doing damage that way. But to me, those seem like just wasted talents. See, so like Hex, that's a situational one. I mean, in the M+ you could use it, but raids you would hardly ever use that. It can be nice in M+, but usually it depends on how everything is, right? You know, if there's very few dungeons currently where you say, okay, hey, we need to control that mob. But usually we'd have a mage do it or a hunter, right? Think of spires, right? There's a couple pulls in spires where you CC the healer or whoever the inspire guy is. For new tier, I'm thinking when these talent trees go, yeah, and that depends on what they do with the bosses. As of right now, I wouldn't take it. What's the follow up? When hex ends, target slow by 70%. Reduce the cooldown of your hex spell by 10 seconds. Yeah, so even in M+, usually based off how the game is right now, I just assume not take it. Increase critical strike chance of your nature spells by 2%. Yes, please. That's almost like the dwarf talent. The dwarf racial. Actually, that one's extra crit damage, I think. But yes, so we always want crit. Guardian's Cudgel. When the capacitor totem fades or is destroyed, another capacitor totem is automatically dropped in the same place. That's an ability from Torghast. That's interesting. Because in theory you can almost have a permanent cat totems. Reduce the cooldown of capacitor totem by 5 seconds for each enemy it stuns, up to a maximum reduction of 20. So that's a current talent right now. So right now, I would take the more, again, because again you don't use it in rated, but you do use that all the time in M+. Tremor Totem. There are times you need it potentially in both raid and whatnot. Definitely an M+, so yes, you take that. Initial defense. Increase the leech and avoids by 3%. Yeah, normally I'm gonna want that. We like the leech. Points is nice too to reduce the AoE damage, but you know, having some leech is a nice little bonus. I'll have to see what that opens up down here. I know I'm gonna run out of points, so I'm gonna have to fine tune here in a minute. Spirit Walker's Grace. Yes, you always need to have the ability to move. Pretty sure Crovax is on pace to pick about 90 points worth of. Well, yes. Again, I'll fine tune in a minute. Increase the number of elemental shields you can have active on yourself. All right, so that's interesting. So potentially having normally it's water shield, but maybe put on earth shield and or lightning shield. Probably not a big deal though. So that one I'm actually not gonna worry about because while in theory I think it seems cool, for practical use, not so much. And the reason is because the electric shield and or lightning shield and doesn't do enough damage to make a difference, and you have to be hit for that to activate. And Earth Shield, you have to be hit, and it's not going to heal enough. So I'm not tanking anyway, right? So it's like sure, but whatever. Spirit Walker's Aegis. When you cast Spirit Walker's Grace, you become immune, silence, and interrupt effects for 5 seconds. Okay. Or reduce cooldown of Spirit Walker's Grace by 6 seconds and increase the movement speed by 20%. That is actually a real choice. I think the top one would be most likely to be used in Men Plus. But again, depends on what the tier looks like. Because it'd be real easy for them to, you know, have a mass silence or whatever, you know, a cast that on a boss that you cannot interrupt, and so you could use this as a quote unquote defensive. But for the most part, we like. I don't actually use this enough, to be honest. I need, that's one area where I need to get better. But usually I plan my stuff, my movement around my spells anyway, so I don't have to use it all the time. One dungeon I tend to use it the most is what is it? Necrotic Wake. Because you have to run away from the comets. Earth Grab Totem or Windrush Totem. The Windrush Totem currently is a talent. Earth Grab Totem also is a talent, which you would sometimes use in M+. Unless I actually need either one of them. You know, that's why we have druids. Make them roar. Don't make me waste a point on it. But I will grab it if it truly deserves needing it. Greater Purge. Purges the enemy target, removing 2 beneficial magic effects. Or purges the enemy target, removing 1 beneficial magic effect. Successfully purging a target grants a stack of Maelstrom weapons. So it looks like they're trying to add a little, like I said, a little bit of a melee component. How often, though, does the same target have multiple magical effects? As the game is right now, I don't think it's very often. Maybe in PvP. But I don't care about PvP, so I'm going to skip that. I'm already skipping that here. We already took that. Ancient Ankh Talisman allows you to... Oh, that's a baseline ability right now. I never have to really use this because I don't die. But I guess just in case, you know, everyone else dies, I guess I could die. So I think we might want to take that in that case. Winds of Alakir. Increase the movement speed bonus of the Ghost Wolf by 5%, which currently is a talent you can pick up. When you have 3 or more totems active, your movement speed is increased by 7%. 3 or more totems active. Okay, so that's a little bit challenging to get done because you got like Cloudburst Totem. Maybe you have Cat Totem, but that's only up for a moment. Got Earthbind Totem. That seems hard to... I think it would be very challenging to get 3 totems up at the same time and then really take advantage of that. I may come back to this. Right now, I'm not going to take any of those, though. Ghost Wolf is usually pretty good. There are those oh crap moments where it's like, oh, even Ghost Wolf is not good enough. You know, because you started running late or whatever the case may be. An Inches Guardian, when your health is brought below 35%, instantly heal for 20% of your maximum health. See, a lot of these are current talents. That's a little disappointing. I thought they were going to mix stuff up a lot. But a lot of these are current talents so far. And this is the talent that I usually don't play with. So I need to take one of these. So we'll take the Greater Purge. Just so I can get there. I don't think I would take 2 in there. Because as far as I'm concerned, you only need that if you're playing badly. I mean, there'll be big raid bosses or whatever that'll do a lot of damage, right? But you plan it around that. You know, I mean, you've got your defensives. But if it one-shots you, well, you're just under-geared. Or if you're low, then you just need to make sure that you're healing yourself first. Reduces all damage taken by 3%. Okay, so that's actually interesting. I mean, it's basically saying we don't need to stack bursts for keys. There's not anything actually new in anything I've looked at. It's been old talents or Torghast, Covenant, Lego. That's how it's feeling for sure. Reduce cooldown of your totems by 2 seconds. So that is part of the current tier set. But see, 2 seconds, like for something like Spirit Link, that's on a 3-minute cooldown. So 2 seconds doesn't make a big deal. Where this does come into play, though, is that Cap Totem a little bit, because Cap Totem base, I believe, is at a minute. But if you have this and you get 5 guys in there, that cuts off 20 seconds. So cutting off 2 to 4 seconds would definitely be good. So I assume 2 points in that would be 4 seconds. Probably don't need 4. So you know we're just gonna go 1. Oh wait a moment. and go 1 here. Healing Stream Totem. So normally the baseline is you get a Healing Stream Totem, but then there's a talent for Cloudburst. Why can't I? Do I need to go 2 in that? Really? I need to go 2 on one of these? That is kind of dumb. All right, then we're gonna drop that. We'll go with that. So yeah, right now you by default you get the Healing Stream Totem, and then you talent into Cloudburst, which gets rid of the Healing Stream Totem. Normally the Healing Stream Totem doesn't really heal that much. I mean, it's just like a low level dot, really. Rushing Streams, 2 injured. Wait a minute. Summons a totem at your feet for 15 seconds. That heals it. Okay. Rushing Streams, 2 injured party or raid members. An injured party or raid member within 40 yards for 47% for 2 seconds. So they're changing that a little bit. Okay. So it looks like you'll be able to have both of them up. If I remember correctly, there's an option to add Acid Rain to the Cloudburst, so it hot sand. Oh, well, we'll get to that here pretty quick, man. For sure. Improved Lightning Bolt increases damage dealt by Lightning Bolt by 10%. That is never a bad thing, by the way, especially in keys. To 10%, relocate your active totems to a specified location. So right now, the Vesper totem you can relocate. Your other totems you cannot, like Cloudburst you can't, or even like Spirit Link. To me, this really isn't that big of a deal. It is sometimes nice to be able to relocate the Vesper totem, but most totems put it in the right place in the first place, and know when and where to place them. So to me, that is not that big of a deal. Gust of Wind. A gust of wind hurls you forward. All right, that may be similar to like almost like an opposite of a disengage, right? Or removes all movement and parrying effects and increases your movement speed by 60% for 8 seconds. That to me feels like a PvP talent overall, but that could be interesting. Not gonna lie. Reduces the cooldown on the Spirit Walk. Okay. Reduces the cooldown on Gust of Wind, which is these. Okay, fine. Surging Shields for Resto increases the damage dealt by Lightning Shield by 50%. Increases healing done by your shield by 25%. So that's interesting. Increases the amount of mana recovered when Water Shield is triggered by 25%. Which is nice, but overall, again, the Your Shield healing is kind of nominal, to be honest. It's just, it's not super sexy. I mean, it helps, but none of those are really, really super sexy. All the elements. Resets the cooldown of your most recently used totem with a base cooldown shorter than 3 minutes. So what applies to that? Spirit Link is at 3 minutes. Healing Tide Totem is also at 3 minutes. So those don't get applied. Mana Tide Totem, that would work, because that's a 2-minute totem. Oh, resets the cooldown of your... So for resets, I guess that means you get another free one. So that could be helpful for Mana Tide for sure. But you have to plan ahead for that. You have to basically use it and then immediately pop this, so that way you can use it again whenever you want it. Because it doesn't make sense that you would use it on like Healing Tide or Healing Stream or Cloudburst, because those are usually up enough as it is. All the element affects an additional totem. That's a little bit better. Less overall planning. I wonder if Spirit Link would work if you took the totem. I don't think so, because it says the base cost. The base cooldown shorter than 3 minutes. So I think that would be too strong. That would make this basically a useless talent into probably a must-have. And it would also mean that they would have to set up raid encounters accordingly. And reduce call of the elements. So, you know, we're not going to touch anything here, because I think it's more about just don't be a bad player. Totemic Focus. Increase the radius of your totem's effect by 7%. Oh, yeah, no, you're good, bud. Increase the radius of your totem's effects by 7%. Increase the duration of your Oathbind and Oath Grab by 5 seconds. Big deal. Increase the duration of your Healing Stream, Mana Spring, Tremor, Poison Cleansing. Did I miss a... How do we get Poison Cleansing? Oh, that's probably there. Okay. Alright, that's going to be new then. Poison Cleansing, Ancestral Protection, Earthen Wall, and Wind Rush Totem by 1.5 seconds. So that is interesting enough. Subs the totem in target location and removes 1 poison effect from nearby party within 30 yards, 1.5 seconds every 6 seconds. That is a totem. That is a totem. Because normally we don't do poison. So it's given us an ability that we would use in some M+, but probably not all M+. And it gives us something that's new. Something we don't normally have. Like Plaguefall, perfect example. Alright, what do we got here? Thunderstorm. Calls down a bolt of lightning, dealing X amount of damage to all enemies within 10 yards, reducing their movement speed by 40%, knocking them back. Oh, that's an elemental shaman base ability. Okay, more of probably a PvP thing. You could use that in M+, but you gotta be careful that you're gonna push them the right way. It'd be really easy to mess it up and push them into other mobs. They get away from me. Spell Sanguine. No, yeah, Sanguine, great. It's almost like a Ring of Peace, real quick. For the most part, though, I don't find that very useful. Because in M+, if there's a mob on me, because I ripped aggro off a video, I mean, it happens quite a bit. I just run to Idio, and eventually, 45 seconds later, he's going to take the aggro back off. Lightning Lasso grips the target in lightning, stunning and dealing 700% spell damage. Okay, nature damage over 5 seconds while the target is lassoed. Can move while channeling. Earth Ellie does not count as pulling arrow. You know what? If it's not my fault if I do more damage than the tank. I mean, let's see, which one do I would take this, that's more damage. I would take that. And I would take that. Oh, I was looking at Lightning Lasso. So the question is, so I'm channeling it, so it means I cannot cast another spell during this time. That gets a little dicey as a Resto Shaman. Because sometimes the DPS, they're dumb and they just take damage. Thunderstorm knocks enemies up instead of away. So I don't know what the advantage of knocking them up as opposed to away are, other than you don't have to worry about knocking them into somebody. But if they're like Sanguine, you actually want to knock them away. What do we got here? Tranquil Air Totem. Summons a totem at your feet for 20 seconds that prevents cast pushback and reduces the duration of all incoming interrupt effects by 50% for party members. To me, that feels like a PvP talent. Because usually, while that can be nice to reduce the interrupt effects of a boss or a mob or whatever, play around it. That's what I would say. How many? Oh, I've got 1 point left. So we might end up losing this. What we got here? Use Healing Stream Totem. Increases the healing of your next three Healing Surge, Healing Wave, or Riptide spells. Okay, so that is the base. That's a base ability right now, and it's good. It is really good. Mana Spring Totem. Summons a totem at your feet for 15 seconds that restores 0 mana to the party within 30 yards when you cast Riptide or Lava Burst. So that's actually a little bit different from the Mana Tide Totem. Interesting. So right now, Riptide is on a 6-second cooldown. You can only have 2 of them based off your talents. And then Lava Burst, normally you have 2, again, based off of talents. And so you would probably realistically get maybe up to 4 of those. I assume that would restore mana to myself in addition to party members. I wonder how effective that will be, though. I guess it really just depends on how much mana it is. What's the last one here? Ancestral Guardians for the next 10 seconds, 25% of your damage is, and healing is converted into healing up to 3 nearby. So that's also a talent. It's not one I normally go with, but I do think we need to reduce some stuff over here. Can I reduce the purge? That means I don't really need that, because just play better. Did I lose anything? Earth Grab, Wind Rush, don't care about those. Oh, I missed this. Your next healing or damaging nature spell is instant cast and no mana. Minute cooldown. While that's great and all, that's a lot of cooldowns to try to work on. So on behalf of the priest in your raid, mana totem, yeah. You know what? I get mana back just by damaging, by doing DPS. So this, I would be worried about using this effectively based off other cooldowns, and that's more just me, because I can only keep track of so many things. But I think that's my first initial thoughts. Let's get rid of this ad here. Let's go on the important side now. Now we're getting into the good stuff. Honestly, right now looks like the priests are the only mana hungry healers. Yeah, and you know, let's be honest. Priests aren't real people anyway, so I mean it's fine. All right. So obviously you're gonna have Riptide. It's a core ability. Healing Wave, not so much. I do use it. Healing Wave for sure. Healing Stream. Wait a minute. Didn't we have Healing Stream over here? So what happens if we have both of them? Positive advance if I life rip or Mr. Crovax reveal. It's not going to matter. Because I'll let you die, I just won't heal you. And I know you're going to sit in something. Casting Riptide grants 2 stacks of tidal waves, which is good. Reduce the cast time of your next healing spell. Yes, that is a no-brainer. Use that all the time, especially in Mythic Plus. Right. Water Shield, yeah, free mana, have to have it. So Deluge is normally a talent, and it's a talent you'd love to have. But the problem is, in order to get Deluge, so Healing Wave, Healing Surge, Chain Heal, for an additional 10% on targets affected by your Healing Rain or Riptide. It's really more effective, I think, in Mythic Plus overall. But, well, actually Raid 2, because you're going to have a lot of Riptides on people. But right now, you have to choose whether you're going to get two Riptides or 2 Lava Bursts, or have Deluge. And not playing without 2 Riptides or 2 Lava Bursts feels really, really bad. So that's kind of nice, actually. Riptides on tanks are always nice. Yeah. I mean, if you take both, you probably get 2 charges of the Healing Stream. That actually makes sense. That actually does make a lot of sense, which would be fine. I'd be okay with that. Alright, let's go down this left side first. Okay, Healing Rain instantly restores 25% of the spell power. Heals 6 allies with an area. As yard radius is increased by 1 yard. So I don't really care so much about the increased range, but I do like the instantly restores. Yes, please. Because, I mean, for the most part, you know, Healing Rain usually just goes on the melee. And so, if they step out of it, they deserve to die. And again, these are just, you know, my opinions as a pro Resto Shaman. So, okay, here we go. This is the one you were talking about. Acid Rain. Deal 50% of the spell power, which is not a ton. Nature damage every 1 second for up to 6 seconds inside your Healing Rain. So this is a Torcast ability that is so sexy. It's one of those, yeah, give it to me. Give it to me. Or the other one, a Call of Thunder, increases the damage of your lightning bolts and chain lightning and storm elemental by 15%. I want both of these. I want both of these. Really hate that you drop Healing Rain and people instantly set it off. God's sake, people get wet. That's true. That's a true statement for sure. I want both of these abilities. I assume I cannot have both. This is actually a true choice. And they probably Call of Thunder has more a benefit in Mythic Plus than rating. Mostly because in Mythic Plus you chain lightning a ton. Or you should be. And so just an extra 15% is great. But at the same time, you can Healing Rain too. The only downside with Healing Rain is the cast feels a little long. We're going to go Acid Rain to begin with. Because that is just a sexy ability. We'll probably go left side first before we come back. And I'm sure we'll be removing some stuff here. Ancestral Wolf Affinity, Cleanse Spirit, Wind Shear, Purge, Totem, cast no longer cancel Ghost Wolf. Ooh. How would that be to be able to run fast and still be able to, purge stuff? Or cast my totems. I like that. I like that a lot. Stormkeeper. Charge yourself with lightning, causing your next 2 lightning bolts or chain lightnings to deal 150% more damage and be instant cast. So Stormkeeper is an elemental shaman talent currently. While the top one I think is more for raiding. How raids are now. For M plus though, we would definitely go Stormkeeper, just for the more damage. Because usually there's not a ton of running, to get out of stuff. You got a little swirl or whatever. So we're going to go Stormkeeper to begin with. Wave Speaker Blessing, increase duration of Riptide by 3 seconds. Would not matter too much overall in Mythic Plus. And it would change the flow, definitely change the flow of your casting overall. Especially in Mythic Plus, because there's times when people don't need healing. So I don't really Riptide. I mean, because I'd rather be casting, a Lightning Bolt or Lava Shock or whatever the case may be. Raid-wise, though, you almost feel like a druid, where you say, "Hey, I've got 28, Riptides open." It won't be that much, but we're gonna take those though for now. But that definitely changes the flow, and yeah, I think that'll be nice. It's free healing, but there are a lot of times, especially in Mythic Plus, where you have a Riptide on someone, and it doesn't really matter that it's on them because they're at full life. So yeah, that's gonna be kind of a play and see. Ancestral Vigor targets you heal with Healing Wave. Healing Surge, Chain Heal, or Riptide's initial heal gain 5% health for 10%. This is currently a talent. This is a talent that I use only in Mythic Plus. I don't really notice the difference, but it's a good Mythic Plus talent. So we're going to take at least one there. And again, depending on the higher the keys, the more I think this makes a difference. To be honest. It's not a bad talent. We'll take 1 point in it for now, just to see what's there. Flow of Tides. Casting Chain Heal on a target affected by Riptide consumes Riptide. Increases the healing of your Chain Heal by 30%. Okay. Or Ancestral Reach. Increasing the healing of Chain Heal by 8% and cause it to bounce an additional time. So there's not a lot of Chain Heal casts during Mythic Plus. However, when you do cast it and have the time to cast it, it's such a long cast spell. I think it's like 2.5 seconds. It feels like an eternity. Consuming that Riptide for the boost of the heal, overall, is probably going to be pretty good. Maybe even for raid. I think there's enough times where, you know, if you have an oh crap moment in raid, you don't chain heal. It's too slow. People will die. And so that's where you Riptide, and that's where you Healing Surgeon, which is a fast heal. Now the Ancestral Reach though, where it bounces additional time and increase the chain heal by 8%. That's definitely for a raid for sure. Overall though, chain heal is not cast enough, except for with our tier bonus when we get a free one. So but I think I'm gonna skip that one. Unleash Life, currently a talent. Unleash Elemental Force of Life, healing friendly target for 109%, and increase the effect of your next healing spell. Riptide, Healing Wave, Healing Surge 35%. Chain Heal, 15% increases healing and bounces 1 to 1 on an additional target. Ooh! Oh, whoa. And Wellspring, 25% of our overhealing is converted to an absorb effect. Oh, I like that a lot. I like that a lot. So, since this increases the chain heal, but it gives it bounces to an additional target, you could go here. And then also, take the Ancestral Reach. And now it's, normally it hits 4 people. Now you're hitting 8 people. Or not, sorry, 6 people. Plus 8% and plus 15%. And since it's a smart heal, that's pretty good. Now, as it currently stands, you can't just spam a chain heal. Back in BFA, that's all we ever cast for the most part was a Riptide and chain heal, because we had all of the crit in the world because of corruption, and so we had the mana to do that. Chain heal's a great spell, but it's mana hungry. It just takes up too much mana. That is actually very interesting there. One spell, 15% of his mana. It feels like it. It does feel like it. Chain Heal is very expensive, which is why you don't do it a lot, except for now with the tier bonus. It gives you a reason to do it, because you can get the crit high enough that you get a decent amount of the mana back when you've charged up the crit bar, which I love, by the way. I really do like the Resto Shaman tier gear. Isn't Chain Heal good and enforce it? Yes, it is, but it's not something that you can spam by any means. But yeah, I mean, essentially, once you buffed up the crit on it, so you know you're gonna crit, basically close to 100%. You cast it for sure, because it makes it almost free. I don't think he's even looked. Or I said, no, I have not. This is my first look. So like I say, we're doing it live. Unleash Life. I don't normally take this because it's in the same talent row as the one that I use, which powers up my Riptides, and it really changes the flow of the casting, because it's another, it's a 15-second cooldown. And so for me personally, again, it's actually a great ability, but for me personally, my flow works best without having that extra cooldown, that extra button. I don't like a ton of buttons. I've only got so many buttons on my mouse, and I don't most things I don't shift a button, but I might have to get there. Flash target with Primordial Wave, dealing 65% of the spell power, elemental damage, and apply Flame Shock to the enemy, or heal an ally for 65% of the spell power and apply Riptide to them. I love Primordial Wave. It's a little challenging though, because it's 45-second cooldown. Now there are contingencies to that, which we'll get to, I'm sure. But I love the fact that you can use it as damage or a heal. I love that, especially where I do so much, concentrate so much on DPS. My buttons 1 through 4, my main buttons. That my Riptide has Flame Shock with it. My Healing Surge has Lightning Bolt with that. My Chain Heal, which is actually on a mouse button, has Chain Lightning attached to it in a macro. My Healing Wave has a... What do I got? I got Trying to think of what 4 I got in there. Flame Shock is 1. Lightning Bolt is 2. Oh, Lava Burst. Lava Burst is 3. And Lava Burst is tied to my Healing Wave. And so depending on what I'm hovering over or targeting, then that's how I know what I'm hitting. So Primordial Wave, I like it because and then my number 4 button is my is not macroed anything because that's my healing rate. So Primordial Wave is great. It really is great. How are those talents looking? Am I going back to Shaman? Well, all the best players already are. Yeah, we're just checking them out for the first time. But the fact that they're making Primordial Wave as a base talent, and again, apparently I do have to take this ability, which I don't really want to take. But you know what? We'll take it from a raid perspective. Okay, so Echoes of Elements, definitely want that. An extra Lava Burst charge. Spirit Link, obviously, that's a no-brainer. I guess I need to go through the metal here. Lava Surge, a Flame Shark, damage over time has 50% chance to reset the remaining cooldown of Lava Burst. Oh, yes. Yes, that's an instant crit for me. Did I use all 8? I'm at 21 right now. You need 20 points selected before you can pick anything from that row. Oh, okay. All right. Well, all right. Well, I think we fixed it. What is this one? Direct heal. Oh, so Resurgence right now is a base ability. This is how we get mana back. This is why I DPS so much. This is why, as a Resto Shaman, if you have a Resto Shaman that's calling for, you know, calling for the innervates, it's because they're just spamming chain heal. They're not DPSing. And sure, chain heal is a great spell, but it's not so good that you can steal all the innervates. I'm not saying anybody's name. So yeah, that's a must. Okay, so we can go here. Primordial Wave increase the healing done by your next healing wave by 7%. That's good synergy. Healing Wave is a kind of a slow cast, but it's very mana efficient. What do we got here? Tumbling Waves. Primordial Wave has 50% chance to not incur cooldown. Currently, that's a conduit, but I assume conduits are going away. Reduce the cooldown of Primordial Wave by 15 seconds. Do you take the guaranteed, so it's every 30 seconds, or the 15% chance that you cast it and then you can cast it again? Normally, I would say I go for the guarantee, but we're not going to take that just yet. As a general rule, I don't think a good Resto Shaman should need innervates. As long as they got their mana potion, as long as they're doing DPS to regenerate mana, not only does it DPS, but you generate mana off of crits. So, what we got here? Downpour. Burst of water. Target location heals up to 6 injured allies within 12 yards. So this is currently a talent. So then increase by 5 seconds for each target effectively healed. It's a talent that I like, but I don't like the fact that if I'm using it effectively, I now have to wait longer to use. It does heal a lot, though. It does heal a lot. We're going to come back to that one. All right, what do we got here? Ancestral Awakening. When you critically heal with your Healing Wave, Healing Surge, Riptide, you summon an Ancestral Spirit to aid you, instantly healing the lowest percentage health party or raid target within 40 yards, 10% of the amount healed. Yes, please. Yes, please. Oh yeah. Downpour is definitely expensive. It is just like oh, that's Healing Wave. Where's Chain Heal? Chain Heal's 30% base mana. High Tide. So High Tide is one that we used in BFA, but we never use now because the good players don't need it. Every 0 mana you spend brings High Tide, making your next 2 chain heals for additional 10% and not reduce the jump. So it's nice there, right? Because chain heal is such a great heal. Or every 4 cast of Riptide also applies the Riptide to another friendly target near your Riptide's target. Well, that's our top legendary right now. That is a great ability. For rating, we don't really care about it so much in keys, but for rating, yes sir. All right, let's come check out the right side. I know we're running out of points, so I think for now we're going to get rid of that. Get rid of that. Let's see how far we may get rid of some other stuff. Last five, when you consume tidal waves, the cast your next heal is reduced by 10%. So tidal waves is great. So this is a nice little extra bonus. And in fact, it's currently a talent. But we're going to come back to that. What do we got here? Consuming tidal waves reduces the cooldown of Cloudburst. That's a win. Healing Stream, Healing Tide, Mana Stream, Mana Tide, Poison Cleansing Totem by 0.25 per second. Yes, we do want that. Mostly for like Healing Tide or specifically Cloudburst. Master of Elements. Casting Lava Burst increases the damage of healing of your next nature, physical, or frost spell. Alright, I like that. Because I Lava Burst a lot. So that encourages you. Again, I always believe that the best healers DPS at the same time. That's how my mindset is. Obviously, we got great healers that don't DPS, and that's fine. So I'm not saying they're bad. Or your healing surge is 25% more effective on yourself, which is currently a conduit. I want the damage because it's also because I can heal myself and still get a benefit there. Okay, Cloudburst Totem. This is what managing your Cloudburst Totem is. What Resto Shaman is really all about, to be honest. Because you got to power that thing up, and the better shamans know how to power it up. Oh, we got two options. Healing Stream Totem heals for 10% more each time it ticks, which is guaranteed. Or you get Cloudburst. Well, only testing will show the difference, but you know what? I'm taking Cloudburst because I figure that in raids I'm gonna have it. May not be maximized because I DPS a lot, but I'm still gonna get some pretty good Cloudburst. Torrent. Oh, so Torrent is the talent that I take. It's the level 15 talent. It's great. Give me two of that, please, for sure. Definitely need Mana Tide Totem. We definitely have a problem. Let's get rid of that. Okay. We're probably gonna lose that. Which means, you know, hold on, we're not losing that just yet. Alright, let's see what else we got here. Ancestral Protection Totem summons a totem. All allies when they suck, because they died. Brings back to life. If an ally dies, the totem will be consumed to allow them to reincarnate with 20% health. Here's the problem with this. It's a 5-minute cooldown. And you don't know if they're going to die. So you don't know if they're going to be able to use it. Or totemic focus. 10 yards of the totem is redirected. 10 yards of the totem is redirected to the totem. Sorry, that's Earthen Wall. Totem's a totem. Okay, I do use Earthen Wall all the time. So most people don't use it. Ancestral Protection Totem because it's 5-minute cooldown and you have no way of knowing if it's going to even be used. Okay, Earth-Opening Weapon. Imbue the Shaman's weapon with Earthen Life, which gives you Riptide, Healing Wave, Healing Surge, and Chain Healing. A 20% chance to trigger Earth Leaping on the target, healing an additional 4%. I believe that's an older talent. I'm not a big fan of the randomness because you know there's going to be a cooldown on it. I'm not going to take it just yet, especially because I know I need to lose some points elsewhere. But Undercurrent, for each Riptide active on an ally, your heals are 25% more effective. Oh yes, because I'm always going to have Riptides going, and I've run out of points again. All right, well let's look at these before I before I switch out. Earth Shield healing is increased by 50%. If your Earth Shield target is below 75%, Healing Wave and Healing Surge at the stack of Earth Shield your target up to 90 maximum stacks. That is currently a legendary. It's not a legendary that ever gets used. So I think that's basically garbage. Primary target of your chain heals is healed for an additional 20%. That is also a legendary. And there's one shaman that I know that uses this and he's garbage. And I told him, hey, by the way, you want primal tide core, but no, he uses this one because that's what he made, because he did no research. So if you're using this one, you're garbage. As the game stands now. Ever Rising Tide, overcharge your mana for 8 seconds, increasing your haste by 10% and healing done by 10%. While overcharged, your mana regeneration is halted. Haste and healing good. So that, I guess the question is how many fights you're gonna run into mana issues. And more importantly, how often are you gonna need to boost, you know, how many old crap moments are there where you go, oh, I need to, you know, hit this and then hit this. I would say more as the game is currently, more often than not, while that is good, I don't think it's that practical. All right, what do we got here? Earth Ward, increase the healing of Earth Living, which is, and again, I think I like Earth Living. Earth Living always triggers on targets below 12% of their maximum health. So, other than a tank, for the most part, you're only ever going to get the standard 15%, which is not bad. Which is not bad. And then here, oh, why did Wellspring got to be at the bottom? I love Wellspring in raids. That's my go-to. Creates a surge of water, flows forward, healing targets in a wide arc for 190% of the spell power. I love Wellspring. But there's no way, I'm guessing there's no way you can have more than 2 level 31s, right? Let's see. You can. Well, let's go. If I give up some DPS, I can take that, and I can take that. Oh, there's 2 parts to it. I didn't read the second part. Casting Lava Burst has a 10% chance to activate Ascendance. So over here, Ascendance is a great ability. Ascendance is a great ability in keys as an oh crap moment. But in raids, the same shaman that I'm thinking of, and he's a good dude, don't get me wrong, just crap shaman, because he doesn't care enough to be better. The same guy that uses Nature's Focus also uses Ascendance. There's not enough oh crap moments in raids right now. We all know who you're talking about. Actually, most of you don't, to be honest. There is one person, and I don't know if he's in here at the moment. There's one person who knows exactly who it is. But most of you actually don't know. On the other shots fired, yeah, you know, about spam and chain heal. Yes, that we all know who I was talking about. Don't really care about that. Although having free 6% chant, you know, seconds of Ascendance is great. But again, since you can't control it, I would rather have what I can control. It's me. I love all crap buttons and keys. So no. Yeah, in keys, I have Ascendance available for sure. So most of this is mostly rating based. Like I don't need Primal Core in keys. Rating though for sure. Is this right? You only get 30 points on one side? Okay. So from a rating perspective, I would love to have Unleashed Life, but I think Wellspring is more important. Plus, making my Riptides more effective is also more important. That right there. And again, this will change, right? Because again, one thing I don't know is if you're going to have Cloudburst along with Healing Stream, because normally Healing Stream turns into Cloudburst. So hopefully having both Healing Stream, that gives you 2 Cloudbursts, because you need 2 Cloudbursts for sure. So that we don't know yet. Again, from a rating perspective, don't need Ancestral Vigor as a general rule, because it's too hard to keep it up on everybody. I mean, really, I guess for the most part, you just need it on the tanks. I would love this for the damage. If I got 1 more point, that would definitely be where it goes. But that is how it should look from a rating perspective. I could do it slightly different for M+. It'd be interesting to see where some of the other so-called Resto Shamans place their points. I think you would find, and again, it's hard to say without playing in Dragonflight. As the game is right now, this is where it's at. Working on the priest one, I wonder how unpopular I would be if I skipped Power Infusion. You would be fine. I mean, you wouldn't be invited to raid, but you'd be fine. Hey guys, Crovax here. I hope you enjoyed my thoughts in regards to Resto Shamans. Let me know what I got right and what I got wrong. Again, these are just my opinions. I think they're correct until proven differently. So prove me wrong. Also, check me out on the Twitter, check me out on TikTok, and of course, come by the stream. Twitch at CrovaxxDFS. Love to see you here. Comment below what you liked, what you didn't like, and we'll see you on the flip side.